Howdy, y'all. It's your favorite trainer with a belt buckle. We're going to go over chapters 11, 12, and 21 in the NASM 7th edition. Show Up Fitness, we're going to help you pass it. If you're not familiar with us, we help trainers become successful. Check out my book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. We've helped over 1,300 people pass NASM. Once you do, get rid of it. Move into becoming successful, as the book says. So I've been a trainer for over 16 years, taught trainers for over 10. Our goal is to help you become more confident by learning anatomy, understanding movement, programming. We have sales and social media classes that will help you become significant. The average trainer quits within the first year of getting certified, but that's not you. You're going to be successful. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take you through 5 of the most difficult questions that you're going to see on the 6th or 7th edition. Now, if you got the 6th, it's all right. You have until August 31st. If you got the 7th, if you got a bundle, get a refund. 28 days, get a refund, get the basic package, $5.99, and then invest into better things. More pieces of paper are not going to make you a great trainer. You need guided supervision. I know you want to spend 3, 4, 5 minutes studying chapter 1 through 22, but you need to learn how to train. Too many trainers want experience without proper supervision. It's like the blind leading a blind. So we're going to help you become successful to get through this as quickly as you can. Let's get into it. Chapters that you need to know for the NASM CPT 11, 12, and 21. This is for the 7th edition. So let's see how you guys would do. During the overhead squat assessment, whoop, you got to do this. If you don't, you're going to die. Your client's knees buckle in. It's called knee valgus. You get a little whoop, internal rotation of the hip, adduction at the knees, eversion at the ankle. Which of the following muscles needs to be strengthened? You got to know what you always do to overactive or shorten muscles according to NASM. So is your gluteus medius, your adductor complex, your soleus, or is it your hip flexors? Which one needs to be strengthened? So how my brain sees this question, I see it as red, white, white, white. What's the misfit? You need to memorize the top 5 overactive and the top 5 underactive. So what we have here is B, C, and D. Those are all overactive. Your adductor complex and your inner thigh, your soleus is your lower calf muscle, your hip flexors, your psoas specifically right next to that belt buckle right there. Your glute med is a lateral hip muscle that is going to be strengthened with a 4-2-1 tempo. You're going to foam roll B, C, and D. You're going to stretch B, C, and D. If you want to be a great trainer, I wouldn't do either. I would focus on optimal movement mechanics. Number 2, which muscles are most likely tight if a client demonstrates an arching low back, so that's an anterior pelvic tilt, during the overhead squat assessment? You're probably going to get 10 to 15 of these questions. You got to know this like the back of your hand. You will pass it absolutely. So we have the hip flexors, A, B, transverse abdominis, C, gluteus maximus, D, multifidi. So if you don't know where these are, again, hip flexors, transverse abdominis, deep core muscles, glute max, posterior, multifidi, line the back. So again, I read this as red, white, white, white. What's the misfit? It's your hip flexors. So the answer would be A, hip flexors. Number 3, which muscles are most likely overactive and should be stretched when an athlete exhibits an excessive forward lean? Whoop! You squat and you lean forward. You lean forward. So we have the soleus, gastroc, hip flexor complex, and abs, anterior tib, gluteus maximus, erector spinae, hip flexor complex, erector spinae, lats, and thoracolumbar fascia. Then D is transverse abdominis, multifidi, internal oblique, and diaphragm. Very simple question if you memorize the charts that we have in our study guide. Our study guide is going to get you through the NASM CPT 30 days max. We recently had someone pass it within 7 days without even looking at the textbook. That's why we teach classes. Weekly Zoom calls. Megan is the instructor. You can ask us questions. You will get through this quickly as possible. Don't learn science that's outdated, and that's the NASM CPT, and it is 2021. Yes, we do calls with professors and physical therapists debunking a lot of their material. The answer for this one, put your NASM hat on, is going to be A, soleus gastroc. Those are going to be your calf muscles, hip flexor complex, and your abdominal complex. All right, and then chapters 21 going to be the OPT model, optimal performance training. You got to know this stuff. You got to know phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the acute variables from rest periods, from percentage of intensity, the exercises around them. So which phase of the OPT model uses a 0 to 60-second rest period? Stabilization, hypertrophy, maximal strength, or power. Now, in the 7th edition, they're going to call hypertrophy your muscular development phase. That's the answer for this one, 0 to 60 seconds. I laugh because we consult with a lot of professors and top scientists in the world. I even interview him in my book. Dr. Schoenfeld, he's the leading expert in the world when it comes to hypertrophy. And the answer for this is B. But if you consult with him, 3 minutes has been shown to be superior than 2, 2 superior than 1. This is an old school methodology that NASM still uses. So again, if you want to get jacked, if you want some giant cannons right there, resting 60 seconds is not optimal. We implement a program that's going to be like an agonist, antagonist, and then an accessory. The accessory can be an isolation exercise. And by the time you get back to that first one, it's been about 2 or 3 minutes. That's how you're going to optimize tension. But when you take the NASM hat, put it on, or take the test, put your hat on, and go through this, the answer would be hypertrophy or phase 3. Which phase the OPT model uses a superset combination, such as a squat? You rest 1 minute into an ice skater. So the OPT model has 2 phases where you do a superset, phase 5 and phase 2. Phase 1 is all the BOSU ball stability mumbo jumbo that you got to do. You got to foam roll, do all that fun stuff. When you get into strength, phases 2, 3, and 4, 2 is supersets, but it's going to be like a bench press into a push-up. Stable into unstable. Hypertrophy model phase 3 is going to be your basic lifts. 4 max strength, that's going to be 1 to 5 reps, heavier loads, XXX tempo. The answer to this one is going to be D, power, phase 5. So my goal is to help you pass this as quickly as you can. Do not waste time going through the textbook. Why? The information's outdated. You can't ask questions and you're not gaining practical experience. So save some money if you can get a refund on the bundle. Buy my book. It's $15 on Amazon. You just, come on, really? You just spent thousands of dollars on NASM. Do your research. Unbiasedly, I interview some of the top trainers in the game. With my experience and our Board of Education, we're giving you the tools to be successful. And then get into learning how to train. Anatomy, movement, guided experience is what you need to be successful. How many trainers you know out there with crazy belt buckle? You're probably thinking I'm a weirdo. Do your due diligence and fact check other trainers. NASM is the most popular, and that's it. Obviously, this is my opinion. I want you to be successful, but ask yourself this. When you bought into their program, did they have someone follow up and hop on a phone call to see how you're doing successfully? Or did they ask you to buy? Get the corrective, get the PES, get this one. By the way, don't have to worry about that for the 7th edition. They're not going to quiz you on it. Nutrition, correctives, anything around power, because they want you to buy. I want you to be successful. My intent with Show Up Fitness is we're going to change the industry with qualified trainers. We're in San Diego. We're in Santa Monica and West Hollywood for our in-person 2-month internship. But guess what? We're on the World Wide Web. So you can ask me questions and participate in our daily classes every day of the week, hence daily, Monday through Saturday. So we want to help you be successful. All the classes are recorded. We just had someone sign up in Germany. We have someone in Italy. We're all over the world, and we're changing the game. If you want to be successful, you got to show up. Have a great day, y'all.